Welcome again to the old principle. 我就是老校长, and we have an English story that will help your listening ability, 会帮助你的听力, and we will look at it sentence by sentence. This lesson will be lesson number 240, The Tale of Two Teachers. The tale is the story, a story of two teachers, usually a story from long ago. But before we begin, let's listen to the story as it's read by Connie.
Story 240, Tale of Two Teachers. I attended Laurelwood Academy, a co-educational Christian boarding high school, for 3 years. Many things that Christians believed and did I thought were strange. But the longer I went to school there, the better I understood what Christianity was all about. The most influential thing that happened at Laurelwood Academy was not attending the daily worships. Even required Bible classes did not necessarily attract me at that time. But one day I observed two teachers, and it influenced me to become a Christian. First, let me share a little background information. Mr. Kaiser was a Canadian. He was of medium height and build. He was my math teacher. He loved sports, and I remember one day he even challenged me to a game of ping pong. He was good. I lost. The other teacher was Mr. Canty, our history and government teacher. Mr. Canty's first name was James, Jim for short, and since he was a person of sizable portions, tall and overweight, we called him the nickname, quotes, Slim Jim. Of course, we would never say that to his face. Mr. Canty sometimes was very serious, and sometimes he was very humorous. During my senior year at Laurelwood, he was my boss. One day, Mr. Canty and Mr. Kaiser were over on the girls' side of the campus. It was against the rules for boys to walk over there, but I was not too far away. The two of them began joking together about something. Then they began playfully tickling each other. Then they started wrestling. I couldn't believe it. Our two serious teachers in white shirts and ties finally began wrestling and tumbling down the hill. As they rolled over and over, they were howling with laughter. I said to myself, it must be a lot of fun to be a Christian. I want to be a Christian also. By the way, perhaps it was also their influence that led me to want to be a teacher.
Welcome back. Okay, here we go. I attended Laurelwood Academy. We just had our 50th graduation 庆典, okay? That was an alumni meeting, 50. So I graduated 50 years ago from high school, okay? So 我肯定是老校长, right? 50 years ago, I attended Laurelwood Academy. Academy is a school, okay? It's a school. It's usually considered a special. You've heard of the word academic, okay, 学术的, okay, and this is academy, okay, so this is a school. It's just a school, Laurelwood Academy. It was a co-educational Christian boarding high school. First of all, this is all explaining it's a high school, right? You got the high school, and I went for 3 years. 我上那个学校, okay? It was a boarding school. 寄宿. You live at the school. You don't live at home. Okay? And then it was a Christian school. 是基督教办的一个学校. And then the last 形容词 is it was a co-educational school. That means that there were 有男有女一起 co-educational. You know, 100 years ago you had boys' schools and girls' schools, but not now. Okay, this was maybe they still have a few of them, maybe in England or something like that. But this was okay. So let's take a look at Lorewood Academy is a co-educational, Christian, boarding high school. Wow. Took all of that work to explain what kind of school that was. Going on. Many things that Christians believed and did I thought were strange. Technically I was not a Christian at that time. So what Christians did, I felt was a little bit on the strange side. I'm sure that my mother and father sent me there because they felt like that it would help me become a better person. But I wasn't really a Christian at that moment. Okay, going on. But the longer I went to the school there, the better I understood what Christianity was about. Of course, after about 3 years of going there, you can imagine 3 years, I would at least start to understand, 开始明白基督教到底是什么东西. So after 3 years of going to school there, I became to at least a pretty good understanding about what Christianity was all about. Okay, all about, okay, well, that's fine. We'll just continue on. The most influential thing that happened at Lorewood Academy was not attending the daily worships. Well, this is going to be interesting because you will be surprised what is the most influential thing. 我认为，对我来说 most influential, what does that mean? 最有影响的影响力的 okay, the most powerful influential thing 发生在 Lorewood Academy was not attending daily worship. 不是每天参与他们的礼拜 okay, 崇拜 say in a Christian school you have these meetings morning and night, and I suppose if you could say that there was some influence, but in my young mind that was not the most influential. 最影响我的并不是那个 okay, going on. Even required Bible classes did not necessarily attract me at that time. Okay, required. That means 必修课 right? Bible classes, 圣经课 okay? 连那些必修的圣经课 did not necessarily attract me at that time. This is nice. Did not. 不见得 did not necessarily. 不见得那时候吸引我 Okay, so 不见得 it's not necessarily. So in the future, if you want to use 不见得 in English, all you'd have to say it is not necessarily. 不见得. It's good. It's a good way of speaking English if you need to express yourself that way. Going on. But one day, I observed two teachers and it influenced me to become a Christian. Okay, so now this you may be surprised at. One day, I was out on the campus. I was not inside of the building. I will explain that in just a minute. I observed, 我观察，我就看见。To observe is to see, to look at, to now sometimes we say 观察, to observe something. But in this case, I was just walking by and I saw them do something. I observed two teachers and it influenced me to 成为基督徒. Now, you may be surprised. They are not preaching to me. 他们不是向我讲道. But they did something that I was quite, even now, I consider it quite interesting. Okay, first of all, before I tell you the story, I must share with you a little background information. So here is some background information that will help you understand the story. Going on. Mr. Kaiser was a Canadian. 他是从加拿大来的. He was a Canadian. He was medium height. 这个中型的这个身高，还有身材。Okay, height, medium height and build. 中等的what do you say? 身高 and build, 身材. Okay, so height and build. We often say, I don't know why, if we say medium height and build, that means he's not too tall, he's not too short, just right in the middle. And 身材, build, means he's not fat, he's not too skinny, just right. Medium height and build. So are you medium height and build? Okay, you can think about that. He was my 数学老师. He was my math teacher. I studied algebra with him and also geometry. Okay, so 两门课. Going on. He loved sports. He really did enjoy sports. During those days, some sports we did basketball, but the one he liked was ping pong 球. Excuse me. So he challenged me to a game. 他有一天是给我挑战. Well, he liked to play ping pong, and he often was playing ping pong, but then I don't know, he was playing with the others. Why? Because I was not so good, probably. But we played the game. I played with him, I said, and he was good. Guess what? I lost. 我输给他. Actually, he didn't do it, hit it fast. He just used the spin. 这个球就这个转了. So when it hit my paddle, 这个拍子碰到拍子就咚, you know, it just flew off in some funny direction. He was good and I lost. Now, the other teacher that we're going to talk about, remember, these are teachers that influenced me. He was Mr. Canty. He was the history and government teacher. 他教的 课是历史，还有政治 government 政治 government. Okay, so this is Mr. Canty. But where Mr. Kaiser was medium height and medium build, Mr. Canty was, well, first of all, he was, let's go on, okay, his name was James, Jim for short. Now, if you have a name James, then people can call you Jim. My son's name is James, but he has never ever gone by Jim, so you don't have to. So his name was Jim, but the next slide will tell you something about Mr. Canty that you must, since he was a person of sizable proportions. This is a nice way of saying 他是庞大，非常庞大。Okay, he was quite tall, but he was also quite fat. Okay, he was tall and overweight. Well, nowadays, if you're talking to people about fatness, it's probably not so correct to say, oh, he's fat. Just say he is overweight, 过重. Okay? Or, well, obese maybe is 也是有一点太过分了. But say just overweight. 要礼貌一点呢，特别是跟人家讲话的时候, you say, well, looks like, he or she is a little overweight. Okay? 这个是礼貌. Okay? So, but he was sizable proportions. And we gave him the nickname, 我们给他起一个外号, Slim Jim. Okay? We called him Slim Jim. Remember, his name was James. Okay? His name is James. But we all called him Jim. And he was not slim. Slim 就是瘦. So when you say Slim Jim, it rhymes, right? Slim Jim, okay? It sounds funny, but of course, we would never say that to his face. 绝对不会向他的面前说出来. We are always behind the scenes, always behind his back, 在他的背后说的了. Never to him. We never ever said it. Okay. Now, Mr. Canty was very interesting. Sometimes he was very serious. Sometimes he was very humorous. 有时候很严肃, serious. Then there were some times when he was very humorous. So he was able to use both of these, seriousness, humor, and he put it all together in this big teacher that we called Slim Jim. But not to him, just among ourselves. During my senior year at Laurelwood, he was my boss. Okay? 我高三年级的最后一年啊, he was my boss. 他是我的老板. So I got to know him quite well. Okay, going on. One day, Mr. Canty and Mr. Kaiser were over on the girls' side of the campus. Now, you need to know that, well, I'll explain it here. Mr. Canty and Mr. Kaiser, it was spring. It was a good weather, very good weather. 有太阳, yeah. In that part of Oregon, it rained a lot. 经常是有下雨. But this day was a very good day. He was outside. They were walking on the girls' side. 这个女生的一边呢, 有男生女生 okay? So they were on the girls' side of the campus going on. It was against the rules for boys to walk over there, but I was not too far away. And okay for the teachers, but not for the students. 男生啊, okay? We could not walk over on the girls' side, except for special times. But somehow that day, I was not too far away. I wasn't, 我不是太远，所以我可以看到 something. And here's what it was. The two of them began joking together about something. So here are two teachers and they are joking together. They're having a good time. 真的好玩. And they are smiling and laughing and 都在笑. I don't know what they were talking and laughing about. Going on. Then they began playfully tickling each other. 开始, well, what does it mean to tickle? 这个抓痒, to tickle somebody, to 抓痒. So if you are tickling, sometimes my father would tickle me. Don't tickle me in my ribs. 我的肋骨啊, I am very ticklish here. Or my feet. So they began to playfully, 他们真的是好玩啊. They were not serious. 他们一点都不严肃啊. Okay, they were tickling each other. Then they started wrestling. Okay, I couldn't believe it. Then, first they were joking, and then they were tickling each other, and then they were wrestling, 摔跤. I couldn't believe it. It was 很难以相信. Going on. Our two serious teachers. 我们两位很严肃, 很严格的老师 in white shirts, 穿着白衬衫呢, and ties, 大领带, finally began wrestling and tumbling down the hill. Okay, you need to understand that our school was built on the side of a hill. 是在这个斜坡一个山边呢. So they were wrestling, and then they started to 滚下去. They were wrestling and tumbling down the hill. 滚下去. Okay? White shirts, ties, 穿得这么整整齐齐的. And here they are wrestling on the ground. I bet their wives were very unhappy. 他们的说不定啊, 虽然是草地, 说不定他们的太太们不是很高兴. But they were having fun. They were laughing and wrestling going on. They rolled over and over. As they rolled over and over, they were howling with laughter. As they rolled down the hill, they were howling with laughter. And I said to myself, okay, they were rolling over and over, and they were howling with laughter. That means they were laughing a lot. And I said to myself, wow, because up to this time I thought that Christians were always so serious, and they were. There's a time to be serious, and a time to be happy and to laugh and to be joyful. And this, I didn't quite understand that at this time. It must be a lot of fun. 做基督徒真的是好玩的。I want to be a Christian also. Going on. By the way, perhaps it was also their influence that led me to want to be a teacher. 说不定, well, I don't know. 我顺便说了，或许 because of their influence, 他们的影响 that led me, that influenced me to want to be a teacher. So now you know why I spent so many years as a teacher. Because one day I saw two happy teachers wrestling and laughing and enjoying themselves. And I said, it must be a wonderful thing to be a teacher and a wonderful thing to be a Christian. And that was the most influential thing that I learned at Laurelwood Academy. 3 years. Can you imagine that? Okay. Well, listen, we do have a web site and an email address. Our email address is theoldprinciple@gmail.com. And we have a website, www.theoldprinciple.org. It's been great spending this time with you. And it would also be great if the next time when you come to watch 老校长的节目, that you bring a friend with you to watch together. Until then, bye-bye for now.